All right, in this one, this is going to be another guide on how to sleep better. So another sleep maxing guide. The first one did well and people enjoyed it, so here's another one. Tip number one, avoid late caffeine. So caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours. It can vary depending on the person, but it's around those numbers. And if you want to maximize sleep, if you do consume any caffeine at all, it should be all in the morning. Ideally around 1.5 hours after you wake up, because you want to clear out the adenosine from your body before you ingest caffeine so that you don't get a crash in the afternoon, because adenosine builds up during the day to make you sleepy, but it's also still residual in the morning. So you kind of want to wait around 1 to 2 hours before consuming caffeine. Ideally, you don't have to, it's just to avoid a crash later. But the most important thing is that you consume caffeine in the morning instead of late, because if you do consume it late, the half-life of caffeine is so long that it's still going to be in your system and it's going to impair your sleep. And also, ideally, try to stick to lower doses like 100 milligrams of caffeine instead of, for example, 400. That's still going to give you energy, but it's not going to impact your sleep, especially if it's in the morning. So, number two, this is a mistake that I've done for years, which is consuming vitamin D at night. So I think everyone should take vitamin D. I think it's much more intelligent to supplement than to rely on the sun after you learn, all the pros and cons of the sun, because the sun has a lot of pros. It's good for your eyesight. It's good for your circadian rhythm because it increases cortisol, but in a positive way. Your eyes have receptors, light receptors, and the sun makes you happier, improves your mental health, improves your circadian rhythm. There are many benefits, but there are also cons. For example, it increases skin cancer risk, it increases skin aging, and so it's better to get the pros without the cons. And one way you can do that is by getting enough vitamin D in supplement form so that you don't have to risk getting into the sun that long. So I think everyone should take vitamin D3 with K2 especially, because, for example, vitamin D3 increases the absorbability of calcium and K2 directs it into the right place. That's just one of the benefits. It's also good for artery health, but I think I should take both. And most people don't get enough K2 anyways, especially if you don't consume meat or animal products, for example. Back to the main topic. If you take D3, which you should, take it in the morning because it affects the production of melatonin. So if you take it at night, your body's going to think that it's still in the morning, and so it's going to give you more energy. It's going to block the production of melatonin. And so if you do take D3, which you should, because I think everyone should, it should be in the morning. It shouldn't be at night. And this is a mistake that I've done for quite a while. And right now I take it along with the first meal of the day. I take it with a meal because fat increases the absorption of vitamin D3. So you cannot really take it in an empty stomach, for example. You're not going to absorb much. And yeah, I take it with the first meal, and I used to take it with the last. So right now, not only I can absorb it because I take it with the meal, but also I don't get the negative side effects of it impairing melatonin production. So that's what I recommend you do. Take it with your first meal, ideally, like I'm doing. Number three, read. So we have some studies showing that reading can reduce stress up to 67% in a relatively short amount of time. And that's insane in of itself. Even if it was 67% in 1 hour or half an hour, it would still be insane. But no, it's much less than that. And so it reduces cortisol, it reduces heart rate, reduces arousal. All of these things are going to massively benefit you if you want to improve your sleep quality. So reading is probably the last thing you should do before you sleep. And it's one of the few things you should do before you sleep. This ties into the next point, which is be calm. So books are going to help you do that. But you basically want to do activities that transition you to a parasympathetic nervous system mode, which is basically a rest and digest mode. You want activities like walking and meditating, warm showers, skincare, reading. All of these are going to improve your sleep quality because they're going to reduce arousal, they're going to reduce heart rate, they're going to turn off the sympathetic nervous system and turn on the parasympathetic nervous system. They're going to make you more relaxed, basically, and this is the state you want if you want to maximize sleep. You don't want to be in a fight or flight mode. You want the exact opposite of that. You want a rest and digest mode. And so all these activities listed, they're going to help you achieve that state. And that state is ideal if you want to feel relaxed and sleep, because you need to feel relaxed if you want to maximize your sleep quality. A lot of people think that people cannot sleep nowadays because of the blue light. That's one of the pathways, but actually More important ones are, for example, the amount of flux, the amount of light intensity in your room. And another one is arousal. We constantly check the news. We see stuff that make us feel aroused, and we turn on the fight or flight mode, and then we cannot sleep. So it's a multivariable problem, and one of them is arousal. And all these activities listed, they're going to reduce arousal and they're going to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. So I hope you enjoyed this one. That's basically it. And also, if you want to join the Skool community, the link is in the pinned comment. I talk about health, hair loss, clear skin, physique. I recently added a full money maxing module, so if you're curious, you can check that out, based on the evidence and statistics, of course. And yeah, it's based on my experience, but mainly it's based on the evidence whenever possible. So join the Skool community if you care about optimizing any of these things. And yeah, I really hope you do. I think you're going to enjoy it. That being said, thank you for watching.